in the kitchen. Listen, we are talking outdoor entertaining for the summer today, and I've got a great recipe that seems really fancy, but is super easy to put together. Kind of my dream scenario, especially when people are coming over. We're talking grilled chicken with a feta and herb sauce and a fresh summer salad. How does that sound? Yeah, it's kind of a classic, super great. Also, I'm gonna give a real quick shout out to this audience because it is full of amazing people. By a sound of cheers, how many teachers we got out there today? Nice. Thanks so much for everything you do. That's absolutely amazing, and happy summer. So let's get celebrating. We are gonna make a super, super easy meal. So I feel like a lot of people get really intimidated when a recipe says that we're gonna cook a whole chicken, right? People are like, oh, that seems intimidating. It's scary. What do I do? But it's really, really simple, especially if you know the right way to do it quickly. So what I'm gonna ask you to do is spatchcock your chicken. And basically, that means flatten your chicken. So I have got my chicken right here, and that has been spatchcocked. Now, you can get your butcher to do this if you want, but it's really, really simple to do on your own. Basically, you get that whole chicken that's kind of like sitting like this, and you flip it so it's this way. And then this is kind of gnarly, you want to cut out its backbone. That's what you're doing. I know. I was like, Mary, why am I using myself as an example here? But that's essentially what you're doing. What that does is it allows you to flatten the chicken out so it cooks really evenly. Because oftentimes, a lot of the complaints when it comes to chicken is the breast meat's dry, the thighs are still nice and juicy, but how to cook it evenly. By removing that backbone and spreading it out, it allows everything to cook really evenly. So you're gonna get juicy breast meat and juicy thighs all at the same time, and it cooks in under an hour, which is a dream. So I've got my chicken here that I've removed that backbone. Just use a good pair of kitchen shears and just chop along, super simple. And I'm gonna make a little bit of a kind of spicy, delicious oil to go on there. So I've got a little bowl here, and into there I'm gonna go in with about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. You could also use canola if that's what you got hanging around. You could even use melted butter if you're feeling it, which is always a good thing. In fact, I'm gonna change the recipe so it says oil or butter, whatever you want. Okay, now into there we're gonna spice this up. So the first thing I need is 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika. Since I would like this to taste like it's been on the grill, whether we grill it or not, I love using smoked paprika because it gives a really nice, obviously, smokiness to whatever you put it on. Super, super tasty. Then into there for a little bit more smokiness, but a bit of lemoniness at the same time, I'm going in with a teaspoon of cumin. Cumin and smoked paprika, this combination, is something that I put into any sort of kind of vegetarian main that I'm doing that I want to taste meaty, because it tastes nice and meaty and smoky. Now, for a little additional flavor, I'm also going in with half a teaspoon of garlic powder. Now, the garlic powder is good here because it doesn't burn like regular fresh garlic would on this chicken. So you're gonna get all that flavor of roasted garlic without the burning, which is a dream. So season that up with a little bit of salt, maybe a little bit of pepper as well. And this combination is a dream. Now into there as well for a little bit of brightness, I'm gonna go in with the juice of half of a lemon. So just add that right on in. Pips and all, I don't care. Do you. Honestly, anytime I'm cooking at home, I'm like, there's a pip, whatever, it's fine. If you're cooking for people you know, they won't mind either. All right, give that a little bit of a mix together. And I'm just gonna use a pastry brush just to brush this nice seasoned oil all over this chicken. So I'm just gonna brush that right on. It kind of starts looking like that classic Swiss house chicken. Does that make sense? We know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you know, okay. But it's gonna give really nice flavor, super, super tasty. And you actually also wanna get the underside of that chicken as well. So this is the kind of gnarly part because the inside of the chicken looks like the inside of a chicken. So, you know, don't look. But I'm just gonna brush that on because that's gonna help perfume and get all of this flavor into all of that meat. Don't forget the wings, because if you got someone in your house who likes the wings, honestly, that is a real treat. Flip her back over. And as you can see, I am doing this on a sheet pan. Now, if you were doing this for the barbecue, whoop, she's slippery. There we go. Whoop. Okay, there you go. Nice. Yeah, right? We're good. All right. Now, since I'm gonna do this inside, because I'm inside right now, I'm gonna do this in a 425-degree oven for about 40 to 50 minutes. That's all it takes to get it at about 165 internal temperature. But if you are outside, feel free to do this on the barbecue. Just heat your barbecue to medium heat, pop that chicken on, again, bone side down, and cook that for about 45 minutes with the lid closed. It's gonna get crispy, it's gonna get beautiful. The bones are gonna protect it so it stays nice and juicy. It's gonna be absolutely delicious. So while that chicken does its thing, I am going to quickly make a really tasty, kind of sort of green goddessy dressing situation. So, I know. Now, spoiler alert, if you like a green goddess dressing, there typically is anchovies in it. But we're gonna leave the anchovies out today. I like anchovies, but you know, some people don't. So we're gonna leave them out. But into here, we're gonna go in with half a cup of mayonnaise. That's a classic ingredient in green goddess dressing. I feel like when you see it on a menu, you're like, oh, green, healthy. It's mainly mayonnaise. Not the worst thing in the world, super, super flavorful. So about half a cup of that mayonnaise is going in. Then I'm gonna go in with about half a cup of Greek yogurt. You could also use sour cream, but I like the thickness and tanginess of that Greek yogurt. Pop that on in. Beautiful, beautiful, nice and creamy. Then into there, I'm gonna go in with 100 grams of feta cheese. So I have got this here. Any sort of feta you want, the more kind of sheep's milk that's going on in there, the softer your feta will be. So if you wanna do that, feel free, but honestly, we're gonna blitz this all up so it's gonna come together beautifully. So pop that on in. Then I wanna add in some garlic. This is where that punchy, fresh garlic comes into this recipe. And in my opinion, if you're entertaining people in your backyard, it's okay if you got garlic breath. You know them, it's fine. If everybody has it, it doesn't matter, right? I feel like that's true. All right, so I'm gonna mince that garlic right on in. You don't necessarily have to mince it, but I like giving my little friend, the food processor, a bit of help here. Then for a bit more extra flavor, I'm gonna go in with the zest of a lemon. And that lemon zest is so bright and tasty. It tastes like, obviously, lemon, but without that acidity, and it brings so much flavor. And if you're using lemon, just use the zest, it tastes wonderful. So pop that on in. Then for a little bit of that smoky flavor, kind of to mimic the chicken and that grill, I'm gonna go in with about a quarter teaspoon of that cumin, just to bring everything together. Then into there, I'm gonna go in with so many herbs. This is where that green kind of goddess situation comes in. So I want about half a cup of fresh parsley, about a quarter cup of tarragon, if you have it. If you don't, you could switch this out with basil, that would be beautiful. And again, about a quarter cup of fresh chives. So if you've watched this show before, you've heard me say it, you've seen me do it, I measure my herbs with my heart. This is not any of the measurements I just said. Do as much herb as you want, because honestly, nothing bums me out quite like having that bag of herbs in your crisper that is no longer crisp. And it's nasty. We don't want that. We're gonna use them up and it's gonna be beautiful. So I'm gonna pop those herbs right on in. I'm also gonna add in the juice of a lemon or two. Just pop that right on in. Perfect. Season that up with some salt, obviously, a little bit of pepper if you're feeling it, and then give that a good blitz in your food processor. That's gonna come together, be nice and smooth and creamy. Since I want this to be green, I'm gonna let it kind of go until it starts to turn that light, beautiful green color, actually matching my dress. So I'm feeling good about it. Alexis nailed it today. All right, and this is a super fun thing that I like to do. So I personally love sauce. It's like my favorite ingredient in anything. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this beautiful dressing and I'm actually going to sauce the bowl that I'm putting the salad in. So I'm gonna add a little bit of kind of a lemony vinaigrette on top, but this almost turns your salad into sort of a crudité situation at the same time. So just give a little bit of a swipe to the bottom of your bowl, and then we're gonna start building our salad on top of there. So over the break, I'm gonna chop up some veg, get my salad all prepped. That chicken is cooking, but stick around because when we come back, we're gonna plate this up. We are back in the kitchen, and I am making my grilled chicken with the feta and herb sauce and a beautiful summer salad. Now, before the break, we made up that beautiful feta sauce. The chicken has roasted up. It's resting on the back counter. But I wanted to show you this salad. The thing that I've done a little bit differently is I actually used some of that kind of sort of green goddess dressing here, and I actually dressed the bowl before I put the salad in. Now, if you wanted to, you could toss everything in that dressing, but it is a heavier, creamier dressing, kind of more like a Caesar. So it does kind of weigh down those delicate summery greens. So I'm just gonna leave that in the bottom and then dress the top with a little bit of lemon juice, a drizzle of some oil. This is where you bust out, you know that oil that someone gave you and it's fancy. And you keep it in your cupboard and you don't eat it and it sits there forever. This is when you bust out that oil because you're gonna taste it. You're not heating it up. It's gonna be a beautiful flavor. And also life's too short, just eat the oil. It's gonna be delish, just go for it. I'm gonna season that salad up as well with some salt and pepper, especially if I'm just doing like a lemon and oil dressing on my salad. You always wanna make sure to season it. It sounds kind of strange because you're seasoning lettuce, but it works really well and makes your salad taste beautiful. Kind of makes it more like a restaurant quality salad. It really, really is delish. All right, pepper's going on. If you wanted some extra crumbled feta on there, it would be a total dream, but that is looking fantastic. I popped the rest of that sauce into a little bowl because I'm gonna use that almost as a little dip for my chicken. So here we have got this beautiful spatchcock chicken here that has been roasting away for, again, about 40 minutes to 50 minutes in a 425 oven or on the barbecue, medium heat, for about 45 minutes. There you go. You got that beautiful char, that lovely, lovely flavor. And my favorite thing about a spatchcock chicken is it's so easy to carve. I think a lot of people, again, if you're making a whole chicken, sure, maybe it's easy to make, but carving it can be a bit of a pain in the butt. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab that chicken, bring it on over to our cutting board, and then all you need to do, because you've removed that backbone, all you need to do is get your knife and just cut right through here. Boom, leg off. Super easy. If you want to divide the drumstick from the thigh, that's super easy as well. What you want to do is give it a little bit of a wiggle, and you can kind of see where that chicken kind of wants to bend. So you're going to kind of go in, right through. Boom, done, easy. Super simple. Really, really delicious, and that chicken is juicy, which is a delight. So we've got our chicken cut into quarters there. Pop that whole leg over as well, so everybody gets a little bit of a different piece. Now, for the wings, obviously, they just pop right off as well. Give them a little bit of a twist, and they can pop right off, looking beautiful. Pop those over. And then for the breasts, if you've removed the backbone and you remove that little wishbone, you can just chop right on through this breast. But if you don't want that bone in, just go down the side of that breastbone and wiggle your knife over. Any meat that's left on there is perfect for sandwiches, but just kind of wiggle through, pop through, and you have got a lovely little chicken breast live on TV. Let's see. If it's not coming off, do what I do, flip it over, cut in this side. Dream, dream, dream. Perfect. A little bit of chicken breast. Right, done. Chop that up, and you have got an absolute dream. It is juicy, it is tender, it is so wonderful. Serve it up with that beautiful, beautiful sauce on the side, and you, my friends, are in for a treat. I can't wait. I'm gonna dig in. Actually, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do a lettuce, I'm gonna do a dunk, and we're gonna take a quick break. We will be right back. Hey, Mary here. What did you think? Drop your comments below and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the good stuff.